Hey everybody, welcome to How To Tuesday. We're back with the Knot Wars. We have the Bimini twist. We did that with how many turns makes a good Bimini twist. I thought we'd do the same thing with another very popular knot, designed for the same reason, to double the line. And a lot of people will use both inshore, offshore, all types of fishing, use the Bimini twist to double the line. Another popular knot is the Spider Hitch. And a lot of people like the Spider Hitch because it typically is thought of as a little bit easier to tie. Personally, I've tied the Bimini twist for a long time, and I find the Spider Hitch a little more difficult because I don't tie it very often, and I don't have the way to tie it down. But I can tie it, and I did tie it, and I thought when I look around at some of the Spider Hitch videos, most people say, do 6 or 7 turns. Okay, well, which one? Is it 6? Is it 7? Is it 10? Is it 15? Do more turns make it stronger? Do less turns make it weaker? That's what we're going to find out today. I tied 3. I tied one with 5 turns, with 10 turns, with 15 turns. If you don't know the Spider Hitch is a very easy knot to tie. You can go to my knot course on Waypoint and learn how to tie that and 40 other knots, or you could simply look on YouTube and find a whole bunch of different videos for the Spider Hitch. It's pretty simple. You just make a loop and then you roll it around your finger a bunch of times and then put it back through the loop. And it's a good way to double the line. It is a very effective way and a very strong knot. A lot of times just as strong as the Bimini twist. But today we're going to find out, is it 5 turns? Should you do it 10 turns? Should you do it 15 turns? Which one makes a difference, or is it all the same? So we are using the Daiwa J Fluoro leader, and it's 12 pound, and all of these were tied with exactly the same spool, exactly the same line. So what we're hoping is that this loop will break at least at 12 pounds, because that's the idea. We're trying to double the line without losing any strength in the line. And I'm starting here with the 5-turn Spider Hitch. Very close. 11.33 pounds. That's the 5-turn. We're going to move up to the 10-turn. And there's a reason why I think that a lot of people don't tie, more turns on the Spider Hitch, and that is because it becomes a difficult knot to tie. You start making more and more turns around the line, and the knot becomes a little bit more cumbersome. All right, so the 10 turn. Let's see what this one does. Made a little difference. 13.40. 13.40. That's both of those are in the acceptable range. You're getting really close to the stated pound test with the 5 turns. With the 10 turns, we're over the stated pound test. That's exactly what happened with the Bimini twist. So this is right in there with the strength of the Bimini twist that we tested last week. And obviously stronger than the stated pound test, so it's accomplishing what we're after. And this one, 15 turns. Will more turns make it stronger, or more turns make it weaker? We are going to find that out right now. Reset the scale. 15 turn Spider Hitch. 12.35. So it made it a little weaker. And that's the theme of a lot of these knots, where we're trying to determine how many turns is the strongest. Like we did it with the blood knot. 1 or 2 turns barely held the knot together. You get up to 4 or 5 turns, it's strong. Then you go over that and you go to 10 or 11 turns, and it becomes weaker again. So there is definitely a sweet spot in all of these knots about the number of turns and the way that you tighten the knot down. You always want to lubricate these knots. That tends to make the knots stronger. You can do that with chapstick. You can do it with your own spit. You can do it a lot of different ways. Chapstick is a really good way. And you can see that when you tighten that knot down, the chapstick kind of shoots out. And that's when you know you've got it seated nice and tight. And those knots tend to be a little bit stronger, I think. The point of this is to try to test before you get out on the water, so that I'm not going to tie like a 7-turn spider hitch this week and a 5-turn next week and a 10-turn now and then. You really don't know which one is stronger, or I don't. So I test them. And that's what we're doing here. We're testing them to determine with this particular line how many turns makes the strongest spider hitch. In this situation, we found that something in the middle here, 10, was stronger than 5 or 15. So you could go on and do a little bit more testing and find out, is 6 better than 7, or 7 better than 8, or 8 better than 9? Where is it? Where is that sweet spot? And it could be different with different lines. So I encourage you to get your own scale and test your knots, whether it's a spider hitch or whatever. Test your knots and do them like this. Try with one more turn than you normally use, one less turn than you normally use, and see if it makes a difference. You could get 10% more out of the line strength just by the number of turns that you're turning, or by how you're seating the knot down. And 10% could be the difference in a winning fish or not catching anything, if you know what I mean. That's tying the old might not work. But anyway, today we found out that the spider hitch, right in the mid-range, kind of what people suggest, 6, 7 turns. We tried it with 10, and it was stronger than 5 and not as strong as 15. 10 was the strongest. 5 was not as strong. 15 was not as strong. So somewhere in the middle. Find out which one is the strongest for your own line and the way that you tie it, and control the controllable. You'll be a better fisherman. All right, that's Knot Wars for this week. We'll see you next week.